What's up? What's good? What's up? It's your boy, Chris the Analyst Ventura here. What's going on, people? I'm bringing you another edition of Bridgeside Sports Live. And we got today, to my left, we got Mike Boo, the fantasy sports guru.
What's up?
You know him. My boy, Dr. Phil, Mr. Sports Science, whatever you want to call him.
What's up, Chris? What's up?
There he is, the genius. And then you got Don, the stat guy. Look
What's
at him.
with the outfit?
How's it going today, John?
What's up, brother?
He makes us all look bad. He dressed up for the occasion.
I didn't know where he had a suit jacket on. I don't know when he threw that on, but he's really.
And why does he have sunglasses on is a big question, actually.
Ever since he got his new position, he's really hamming it up. I
Yeah.
don't
2
understand.
straight weeks of sunglasses.
Next week
I
he's gonna
do
have like
what
a
I
hat.
do.
See, I would say you look sharp, and then you say crazy stuff like that. and
3-piece
then
suit
ruins
he's
it.
going to have next week.
Well, today we got a good show for you guys. We got Yankees, Red Sox series, huge series in baseball for the Yankees, obviously our local team. We got Dr. Phil's injury report. We got the NFL. A lot of crazy things happened this past week in the NFL, so we'll talk about that. And then we got the question of the night, which the question of the night is, what will Zeke suspension, was it too harsh? I'm sorry. I apologize. Was Ezekiel Elliott suspension too harsh? He got a 6-game suspension. It was supposed to be 1 to 2. This is what everybody said at first. 1 to 2, but now it's 6 all of a sudden. So we'll talk about that. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know if that's too harsh. But first, we're going to start up with the Yankees Red Sox series. So I'm going to kick it right off to Boo, the sports guru, and ask him.
I thought it was I'm the whole entire sports.
Well,
guru
fantasy
now.
sports, they're hand in hand.
Right.
You're just
Hand in
a
hand.
guru, apparently.
Tough loss
I
last
think
night.
it just rhymes with boo, and that's why you guys get it. But
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yesterday's game, it was a great game to watch. I really felt like it. They were saying even on the broadcast, it was like a playoff atmosphere. It's nice to see because I feel like Yankee Stadium doesn't always get like that anymore. The old Yankee Stadium did, but you could see that the crowd definitely into that game. They get in the playoff feels again, and even though the Yankees lost, it was a heartbreaker. It's nice to just see that rivalry kind of like what it used to be.
Reignite a little bit.
You know what I mean? Because it's been kind of stale for a while. So that was nice to see. The end result was tough, but and they got to just you got to wonder if the division is out of sights now. They're gonna have to get back on track real soon if they have a chance to win this division.
Right.
Now they're 5.5 back.
That's a good point you bring up about it's really been a long time since this Yankees-Red Sox series has been something important. So, and I think we play them a lot within the next month or so, right? How many times do we play them?
We play the Mets for 4, and then we play the Red Sox again.
Yeah.
So we play. I want to say we play the Red Sox 10 times.
Yeah, like
in the next
crazy.
24 days or something like that.
I think we have 2 more series with them.
Yeah.
And then we don't play strangely at the end of the season. I think the last few weeks we don't have any games.
We used to. I feel like we always end the season with a Red Sox series.
Yeah, they don't have it set up that way
Because after all the years of one of us being horrible,
Well, I think we got to talk about the ending of that game. You don't want to overreact, but the bullpen of the Yankees. We talk about all the trades here. That was supposed to be the strongest point of the team, and on Friday, Chapman was shaky at best.
Yeah.
He walked the bases loaded, and then Hicks bailed him out with the double play.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came in for Sunday to close the game, and he blew that game. He gave up, I know it was a 103-mile-an-hour fastball, but he gave up the home run. Then he started the 10th, and he didn't look good. And then Caney gave up the run. I mean, these are the reasons you made the trade, so you can win the games when you're up in the 9th inning. And you were beating Sale. I know you got the run in the 8th inning, but you were winning a game that Sale pitched.
Right.
That's
big.
Those aren't the games you need to lose or blow. So Chapman blowing that game, I think, is huge.
Well, I mean, for the first time in a while, though, and he has been shaky, and you've noticed, the thing about Betances and the thing about Chapman is usually right off the bat, the first batter, if they're shaky. But yesterday, Chapman looked really good. And I mean, I was already counting it as a win. He K'd Hanley Ramirez.
throwing smoke.
Who, by the way, Hanley Ramirez now. Have you been watching him recently? He's turning into Manny Ramirez. The way he acts. Have you noticed that?
Everything.
Dude, he had 3 swings last night where his helmet fell off.
First of all,
that is very Manny.
First of all, besides obviously the hair, he looks like Manny. He was laughing. First, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm like, what are you doing? Because he's laughing while he swings and misses 3 times through these fastballs, obviously like it's an exhibition game. And after I saw that, it looked like the game was over.
Just waiting for him to cut off another throw in the outfield like Manny Ramirez.
He looks like he just turned into like a real disaster. He gained some weight. Now he just sees himself as like a power. He looks horrible at first base. He's turning into Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
But and then Devers, the young guy, 20-year-old,
Hit that shot.
it's amazing.
He's a beast.
I mean, I was not expecting that. But
youngest player in the major leagues right now.
Chapman did not look
Old.
bad, but then they brought him out for the next inning. The next inning, he did not look good. And
I think Joe Madden just murdered his arm. I think
Yeah.
that's what happened. That's the scientific definition of it. I think Madden. I mean, at last year he was coming in the 7th inning in some of these games. I think Madden just knew Chapman wasn't going to be part of the team next year, and he said, "I'm going to use him for everything he's worth." And
On purpose.
Yeah.
Messed him up on purpose.
Messed him up on purpose.
Just to bring him back to us and let us deal with it.
Yeah. But I think he just used it for as much as he can. I think it might have had some lasting effects on his arm. But
Yeah. I mean, it's bad when you got your two back guys in the bullpen, your setup man, your closer, have problems with control.
all of a sudden they're
everything like this.
wild. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, but then again, it's baseball. Like, look at Kevin Gossman. The guy had over a 6 ERA the whole season. All of a sudden, the last 5 starts, I think he's been pitching. I think his ERA is under 1 or 2 or something like that. Something crazy. It's in the ones. So people just figure it out, or people sometimes lose it. Like Chuck Knobloch, who couldn't figure out how to throw first out of nowhere.
Right,
Like, it makes no sense.
But when you're the closer of a team that's in the heart
Yankees.
of Yankees, first of all, and when you're in the heart of a playoff race, you can't afford to be messing this up. So Girardi came out and said that he's not taking him out as the closer role.
Right.
I mean, who do you go to then? Do you go to Betances, who's also shown that he could do the same thing and just be wild when he comes in? You know, I just
You go to the one of the guys you just traded for.
I think what it needs to be is he needs to stop defining roles. And in fact, Girardi, it was going to bother me yesterday. We scored in the bottom of the 8th inning, but Chapman was up, and the score was 2-2, right? No, it was 1-1 at that point. It was 1-1, and Chapman was coming in the 9th, top of the 9th, no matter what. So now, why would Chapman come in the top of the 9th? Betances looked good yesterday. Don't you want Betances for 2 innings? No, it's like a defined role. Girardi wanted to bring him in because there's no save opportunity on when you're at home.
Right.
So he was going to bring him in no matter what. Why wouldn't you go with Betances another one? Now, we scored a run, and it turned into a save situation, but it needs to be more of a fluid situation. They can't just... we're at the point where I don't think that defined roles are going to work for this bullpen.
So would you change?
I think
Would you make a change?
I think it needs to be on who's hot. That's matchup based. Chapman versus lefties. I think we need to get rid of the whole Chapman is the closer no matter
Really,
what.
you're ready to give up on Chapman? Go ahead.
I'm not
Phil.
giving up on him.
The only what I would say that support Mike, we have so many good guys in the bullpen. If there's any bullpen that can do that and be a fluid situation, it would be the Yankees bullpen right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 guys that have experience closing between Robertson, Betances, and Chapman.
Right.
You have Caney, who could be the filthiest one out of them right now. I
Right.
know he gave up the hit. And then you have Warren looks great. Green, so you have a lot of guys. So
Yeah, the bullpen's deep.
if you want to make it a fluid situation, you could. But, I mean, we continue to talk about it, but we know Girardi's not going to do it.
Yeah.
There's no way Girardi's going to do it.
Honestly,
Unless the binder tells him to do it, he's not going to do it.
right. Honestly, I would just let it ride.
I would
though,
keep Chapman.
with Chapman in.
You
yeah.
know that home
He's
run.
got to fix that problem.
That home run yesterday was the second home run given up by Chapman from a lefty in his entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
First
2
in 6
lefties did a
years.
home run. So, I mean...
I let him work out the kinks. So I know.
I know,
you're in a
but
race.
you're running out of
You're in a
time.
race.
You're running
yeah.
out of time to work out the kinks. you know?
Right. You're in a race now. So how many games are we back?
5.5. Yeah.
5.5 now. So we lost the game. All right. So, I mean, hoping the Yankees could put it together, but I mean, they got all these games against the Red Sox. They have an opportunity to, take the division, or at least, get the number 1 wild card. But we really want that division. I don't want to play that one game wild card. I don't want to be involved in that because then we might face like a team who has a true ace. I mean, what are we going to throw out there? Severino? I don't know. I mean, Severino's good, but
you're 100% right about that. Actually, that we do not match up well in that 1 game playoff because of the fact that we don't have that guy that steps above and could be our number 1 guy.
Hold on.
Completely.
I mean, Severino's been like maybe the he's been one of the best pitchers in the American League.
Right.
And he's probably going to be better than anybody that marches out against us.
Well, right now the Angels.
Playoff.
I don't even know who the Angels put against us.
Right. If you're looking at the other teams that are in the race right now,
Which surprised me, the Angels. We're looking at the AL wildcard standings right here. We got them pulled up by Donnie.
I mean, you're looking at the Angels are in there right now.
Right.
Who's their race?
I mean, they have Tyler Skaggs. They have
Tyler Skaggs hasn't pitched
Ramirez.
like barely.
Donnie's going to find the ace for us, and he might have to do a little digging.
All right.
Ramirez.
So then you got Minnesota, you got
Jeez.
Irvin Santana, who's been good. But I mean, we can match up good. And then you have the Royals. I think that we're going to have the upper hand. I think we match up decently. But it's just you never want to put it all on one game.
Exactly. You want to win that division if you can. And they can, because the Red Sox do have weaknesses.
Oh
They're
my
not
God.
as good as I thought they'd be before the season. But this actually...
Who was it, Nolasco?
Nolasco. Ricky Nolasco, Tyler Skaggs, Ramirez, Bridwell,
this
Parker
10 years
Bridwell.
ago?
This is a playoff
Is
team?
this 10 years ago?
This is a
Ricky
playoff
Nolasco?
team? It's a joke.
Trout won the MVP
Ricky
again.
Nolasco?
How are they in the playoffs?
Ricky Nolasco.
How are they in the playoffs?
I don't know.
When did this happen?
Ricky Nolasco was bad 4 years ago. What is he? I don't understand.
I can't believe that.
That's
What is going? Who is their catcher? Maldonado?
Yeah.
I like Maldonado.
Well, you know what it is? This team, because Trout came back and they've been taken off, and Simmons has turned into, he was always a great defensive shortstop.
Right.
Now he's
hitting.
Now he's one of the best hitting shortstops in the league.
Yeah,
sorry,
but
we're
the rest
looking-
of that, look at this.
I'm sorry, we're
Luis
looking at the-
Valbuena
we're
is
looking-
both
hold on.
third base and first base starter on this team. This team is a disaster.
We're looking at the AL Angels. We're looking at the AL Angels depth chart, and I don't even know who's their 2, 3, and who's their fourth pitcher.
Parker Bridwell. Parker Bridwell. That's their fourth pitcher.
Wait, I'm sorry. They're starting first baseman.
He might end up being their ace.
You said this. They're starting first baseman. They're starting third
baseman as well.
He's doing some Bugs Bunny
CJ
stuff.
Crone, I guess you throw in there a little bit. Albert Pujols, who's way past where
He's got
he
about
used to
5
be.
more. He's got 5 more years on his contract.
Maben might be their second best hitter, to Trout. It's that bad. I don't know how this team's a playoff team. Anyway, like we said, Severino might be the ace game 1 in the playoffs. What's going on? I want to move on to the MLB injuries. Tanaka and whoever else we want to talk about in the MLB injury update. I'm bringing it to you, Dr. Phil.
So
Dr. Phil's injury update. Here
We'll
we
go
go.
on to the injury report. So the biggest injury this weekend ended up being a little bit scary. Was Bryce Harper. I don't know if you guys saw the injury or
Yeah, it looked bad.
it looked really bad. He so the base was wet. It rained a lot before the game. Then it rained during the game. It was lightly raining so the base was very slick. So he was running into first base, planted, and he completely hyperextended his knee. So he bent his knee backwards the way it shouldn't have bent and flipped over. It kind of, I don't know if you guys remember Jason Kendall many years ago broke his ankle on first base in a similar way.
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this was his knee. He had an MRI, and the Nationals should be, breathing a deep sigh of relief because he had no structural damage in his knee, and he had a really bad bone bruise, which is really common with a torn ACL. So we always hear about torn ACLs, how they end your year essentially. He did not tear his ACL, did not tear his meniscus. None of his ligaments were damaged. He did have a bad bone bruise. Roethlisberger had the same thing last year, if you guys remember. He had a bad bone bruise.
Yeah.
But he didn't tear anything. So it's going to take. They're going to just ease him back in. It's not a structural injury.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not a structural injury. It just needs time to heal, like any kind of bruise. It's just going to take longer because it's a deep bone bruise.
Mm-hmm.
But the Nationals aren't in any rush. They got a big lead, so the Nationals should be really lucky about what happened because there are 2 ways to really tear your ACL. The most common ways is to bend it in and buckle, and to bend it back. And Harper bent it back, but everything was intact for him. You mentioned Tanaka.
Yeah.
I think Tanaka's on the DL with shoulder inflammation.
Scary.
It is scary, but we talked about this a little bit with Syndergaard. Any pitcher you take an MRI in the middle of a pitching season, in the middle of a baseball season, is going to show some shoulder inflammation. There's going to be some level of inflammation. So if you want my gut feeling about this injury, they just want to give him a break. He hasn't been. I thought they were going to do this a while ago too, to be honest. He hasn't been pitching right. His head hasn't been right. Shoulder inflammation. Look, you're always worried about the shoulder because with Tanaka, you got to be a little more worried because he does have the partially torn UCL, which is the ligament for Tommy John surgery. And anytime you have that, it does affect your shoulder. But my gut feeling is that he just has regular shoulder inflammation that pitchers usually have. They're not being specific with it. I think they just want to give him a break. I think they want to give him a little bit of time to clear his head, maybe work out any possible kinks that there are there. But you do want to be just a little. If it wasn't for the elbow, I wouldn't be worried at all.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but you're not worried, like, even if he comes back. Let's say it is a rest thing. I mean, the guy's been on and off all year. I mean, like, he's had some good starts, but he's mostly been bad. I mean, what do you think? I think that this could be trouble.
I think it's more of a pitching error than an injury. He's throwing gas. It's not like he's throwing. If anything, he's throwing harder than he used to throw. I think it's more. I think the biggest thing with Tanaka is that when you read about it and you hear about it, he doesn't throw enough pitches out of the strike zone. He's too controlled. Like he doesn't put guys away, and he gets too much of the plate sometimes, and he gives up the home runs. He's giving up a lot of home runs.
Right.
So it could be an injury. Don't get me wrong, but my gut feeling says that it's just a rest because most guys are gonna have shoulder inflammation.
Plus, he's Japanese. He's Japanese. I worry about these Japanese players. Sometimes their careers get cut short because they can't handle it. I don't know. I'm worried about him.
You need
to be
an
honest
explanation
with
for that.
I know.
It's because they're not used to pitching the same amount of innings in Japan as they would be in America. They have more rest. So yes, you're right, and I think that's why his elbow. Gave out in his first. I think it was his first year here. He had the injury in the elbow.
Right.
But you want to be a little bit worried, but I think it's more of a rest. And then the last guy on the Yankees that went on an injury report was Sabathia.
Right.
Sabathia.
Again.
I don't think Sabathia just has a bad knee. So we talk about bad knee. We talk about.
Well, why do you think he has a bad knee? I can tell you why.
He's overweight.
He's overweight. Seriously. I mean,
he's overweight.
First of all, do you remember he got a little bit skinny? I think it was last year.
He gave up eating Captain Crunch.
All his weight back on.
Oh,
he
my
did.
God,
He gained all his weight back. He tore his meniscus last year. He tore the meniscus and the cartilage are your cushion in between your knee joint. They're your shock absorbers for overweight or constantly planting on the pitching mound as you throw. He constantly plants. He tore his meniscus, and I would bet you that his cartilage is wearing away because of all the wear and tear and the extra weight. So his shock absorber, his cushion, he's losing it. So that's why, quote unquote, he has a bad knee. He did get. Now it's nice to be a professional athlete. He got a plasma-rich platelet injection. He got stem cell injection as well as a cortisone shot.
Oh yeah,
all in
nice.
all in one. Nice cocktail that you get. All those are.
I'll take it.
The cortisone shot is for pain relief and get the inflammation down. The plasma-rich platelet injection is that they take out your own blood.
Mm-hmm.
They centrifuge it and they try to concentrate the plasma platelets and then put it back into your where your injury is, the knee.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it a lot recently with injuries, with surgeries. It's just to promote and increase healing. It's trying to get more cartilage, which, to be honest, there's no conclusive way to regenerate cartilage in your knee. So there's really no side effects to it because it's your own blood. So it's not like you're going to get an infection or anything. So when you have the nice New York Yankees payroll behind you, why not have the shot?
Inject them with 10 things.
It's not 100% that's going to help, but it's really not going to hurt. So they're just injecting him and trying to get him back on the field as quick as possible.
I mean,
you or me,
he's old too.
If you or me have bad knees, we got bad knees.
Yeah, that's it.
we got a knee replacement.
We got to go to physical therapy.
We got a knee replacement soon. We got exactly.
You know what's funny is last week I think we were on and we were talking about why did the Yankees go out and get this Jamie Garcia? Now we got to go to a 6-man rotation. So then the next week we see two guys going to DL, and then Montgomery got hit with like a foul ball. Did you see that? And he looked like he might not even make his start yesterday. He ended up starting. But, I mean, at this time last week, we never thought that pitching the first game of the Mets series would be Luis Cessa. Cessa's pitching again.
I know.
Which, it's crazy to think, but I guess it ended up working out that we went out and got a guy like Garcia.
Yeah.
But I'd still like to see. One thing that's bothering me is I would like to see Chad Green. I think that they really should have extended him. Yeah, but I mean, even like on today, it's like a Cessa / Chad Green start, and
those are disasters.
I would
stretch out one guy and let him start.
They should have. Girardi should have stretched him out. I think he's excellent. He was a starter in the minors.
Yeah, he might be trying to play it safe with Green. Maybe he's just trying to eat innings with Cessa and stuff. But you're in a playoff race as well.
Going to be another
so you want to win.
Chamberlain.
Yeah, you want to win. I mean, with Sabathia, no wonder why he wears such a big jersey. I mean, you could still see his stomach when he pitches the ball and he does his rotation. You could actually see his stomach swing like this.
He's huge.
It's so big, it's ridiculous. But go ahead, Don. What do you want to say?
I don't know, and I don't even know what happened. But Cessa only gave you 4 1/3 today.
Yeah, well, that's what
shelled?
they're doing.
No,
not even
2 in the 7th.
They just don't trust him enough, so he's going to pull him early.
bullpen.
So what's the point of that? They should have stretched out Green. Green pitches every 5 days anyway, but it's only 2 innings. What a waste.
Chad Green so far 2.2 of no hit, no run ball.
I mean, there you go.
2.2
What's the score
innings.
there, Donnie? What's the score there in that game?
It's 2-2 in the mid-7th.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand it, and they're not using Green enough. He's pitching every 5 days like a starter, but he's only
4K.
pitching 2 or 3 innings.
No, I know.
Underutilizing, but I'm hoping he joins the rotation next year because he's a stud.
Yeah, maybe next year. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you need your 3 main guys though for this year. You need Tanaka, you need Severino, and you need Gray to be consistent and pitch. But Tanaka's out now, so we'll see what happens. But I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. A little worried about the Yanks.
Me too.
So moving on. Are you kidding me? You know, our segment that we talk about crazy stuff. Somebody makes a comment. Today it's Mike Boo, the guru. And
I got a doozy.
he's got a doozy for us today. Let's hear it.
All right. This is topical because I wanted to bring it up all week anyway because I love this guy. So here's my Are You Kidding Me? It's like, it's got many facets here. All right. So I'm going to start with this. It's about Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay.
Many facets.
Many facets. Don't look at my notes.
John Carlo.
Giancarlo. I love that he changed his name.
Mike
to-
Stanton?
I
Mike
loved him
Stanton.
ever since he changed it to Giancarlo.
Really?
He didn't want to be in a Mike Stanton, the lefty, on the Yankees' shadow.
It's a big shadow to cast.
Yeah, so Giancarlo Stanton on one of the best hot streaks in MLB history right now.
Is that true?
Yes.
Donnie nodding in the corner.
He had another home run tonight. I think it's 5th night in a row.
43.
And I believe it's like 10 and 11 games. Or
10 and
something.
11
That's
games.
unbelievable.
Okay?
Jeez.
So anyway, here we go.
42.
Here we go. It's got
43,
many
43,
points.
because tonight.
So hear me out on all these points, all right? Giancarlo Stanton will hit 65 home runs this year.
Okay.
He will play his entire career on the Marlins, winning at least 2 championships. And he will hit 700 home runs.
Oh my God. This is deep. This
I-
is a detailed. Are you
It
kidding
got
me?
more
Huh?
ridiculous.
I did a lot of. Well,
Got more and
that's
more
why I said
ridiculous.
you got to hear me out. I did a lot. Yeah,
Did a lot
I
of
really
research?
wanted to hit you with a couple things here because
Okay.
I've loved this guy since he came up. And you look at his career. I think he's like number 3 or 4 all time in home runs per at bat.
Okay.
Okay. He hits one. He's hitting one every 10 at bats this year. 2 years ago, he did the same thing, one every 10 at bats, which is unheard of. He's got
Unheard a couple
monstrous
times,
power. So I'm just going to speak to him first, and I'll talk about the Marlins.
Yeah.
So the guy's a complete stud. I've never seen Judge is the only one that hits the ball like him, and if Judge was never here, he'd be in a class by his own.
They're the 2
on
biggest
himself.
guys
Okay,
in the MLB.
but he's not just a big guy. I mean, Richie Sexton was a big guy, but he doesn't have the talent that this guy has.
Richie Sexton, yeah.
Had a nice career, but
Please.
Hit 230 and shit. Like,
right. So Stanton hit his 250th
Muscle
homer last
brand.
year. He's 27 years old. So Donnie just brought up a stat here. Giancarlo is 4th all time in at bats per home run. The only ones above him, Mark McGwire, every 10 at bats in his career. Juice,
Bonds.
Babe Ruth,
And Bonds.
and Bonds, Juice. Okay, so Stanton's number 4 there. He started young enough that I think he can get. I think he's just hitting his stride right now. I've never seen a guy hit this patch that he's been through, and I think he's going to carry it to the end of the season. 65 homers.
Okay.
And
That's
just-
understandable.
Okay, so you're
I'm okay with
65,
that.
wait, 65 homers.
Because he's got 43 right now.
How many games
Actually,
left?
no, that might not be understandable.
Understandable.
Really?
We have August.
Understandable.
We have about half of August and the rest of September. So you got a month and a half. He's got to hit about 22 homers.
He's gonna
20,
hit 22
22,
home
yeah.
runs, and how many
22
games?
home runs.
How many games do we have left?
A month and a half.
I mean, let's say he's got
40
something games.
So he's got a home run every 2 games.
Say 60.
Okay,
Right.
it's the 65. I think is the most, I guess, believable.
Okay.
Yeah, the most believable, yes.
All right.
All right, how old is he?
He's 27 still.
He's fairly young.
27.
How many career home runs does he have?
251 now.
251.
Because he hit one again tonight.
Okay, so he had 250 going into today. So he's 251.
Right.
now.
Yeah.
So he has to hit 450 more home runs.
Easy.
Easy. So hold on.
We forgot an
So
aspect.
you're telling me, so that easy, you're saying. So for the next 10 years, he has to average 45 home runs per year.
Of course, but he's
No, you said easy. You just told me easy.
But first of all, obviously he's not going to get to 700 if he doesn't play till he's 40. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
That's
That's why I
just
gave you
not
just
So
gonna
that puts him
37.
at 37. All right, so you can bring those numbers down a little bit.
Okay.
40 a year.
Wait, we're forgetting about Miami.
All
That
right,
was
so
the
that-
second
so
pick.
the second part about this.
He's not playing. Okay. Well,
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, why?
Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, because he bought
One of-
10% of the company?
Yeah, but did you see even less than 10%?
Is that official yet?
Or whatever.
It is
Is that
official.
official?
It went official the other day.
I believe
I
league
remember-
approval is the last thing they need.
Okay. So it's not official.
So here's the thing with that, right?
Yeah.
Even though he has a very small, they're going to let Jeter run the whole show. They already
Stop
came
it.
out and said that.
Really?
They're going to let him deal almost as
I
like
can't believe he did that. By the way, not for nothing. I'm
they're
just letting
putting
you
a
know.
ton of trust in him. He's going to be dealing with
Yankees wanna know.
management.
He's not going to be known as a Yankee to all these new
Well,
generations.
no, you have to
These new
understand
generations.
that.
Absolutely.
You have to understand.
Sorry, I know we're going off topic.
We went
I
off topic. That's fine.
apologize.
No, you have to understand that Yankees aren't up for sale.
I know.
There's
I'm
no,
just
there's
saying.
no shares for
But
sale.
think
for the
about,
Yankees.
I was listening. Think about when Mantle, just really quick, I do want to get back to it. Mantle, DiMaggio, all these guys, after their career, they were known as ex-Yankees. They were ambassadors. They came with their uniform and they did this. Jeter's this number one guy for this whole generation. For this next generation growing up, they're not going to know Jeter as the ex-Yankee. They're going to know.
Well,
they might. Okay,
they
they
will.
might know him as the Miami Marlins owner.
The only
what
thing
if
to
he's
do.
this bombastic owner that wins World Series and everything?
It's what he wanted to do.
Did you just say
I know.
bombastic?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
I
Except
think
for the Shaggy
loud.
song.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, listen, but here's my
Thank you, Chris.
Here's the way I'm going to come back to that is
No, bring it to
Michael
John Cowell.
Michael Jordan
I know. You're right.
did the same thing, and we don't
You're right.
think of him as a
Yeah, but Jordan to the Bulls is a lot different to Jeter to the Yankees.
Is it?
The Yankees have a lot more history other than Jeter than the Bulls have no history without Jordan.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the captain of the New York Yankees.
I understand,
he is
but they-
Mr. Yankee.
But he wanted to be an owner.
I know.
So it was
I
different.
know.
Now,
Okay,
Miami.
sorry,
Explain
bring it
Miami.
to John Cowell.
So I just think that he's going to have. I think we're going to see him have a huge effect on that, on changing that franchise. I think it's amazing for Miami, the fact that even if he has a small stake in it, he is going to be making a lot of decisions there. I think.
You think he's going to like
I-
John
I-
Carlo that much as a franchise player?
Absolutely.
Here's why I'll tell you I don't think he's going to finish with the Marlins. How many years does he have left on his contract?
Stanton?
Yeah.
He signed a humongous
He's on a
contract.
13
Maybe
year,
Donnie can bring that up.
$13,325 million. I don't know how many years he
Okay.
has left on it now. Okay. But let's say Runsley's 36. I'm just pulling a number out.
Right.
By then he's going to have, how
he's-
many home runs?
Okay, he's injury history. His injury history, what Chris and I just talked about.
Yeah.
You're telling me he's not going to want to go to an AL team to chase 700
DH
to DH
later on?
He's not going to play the field anymore.
Says who? Why do you say
Don
that?
wants to
I'm
say
saying
something.
it
I'm
right
sorry.
now. He
Don?
says Philip.
He starting in 18. He's got 11 more years left on his contract.
So
Yeah,
he'll
but
be
it says he
38.
can opt out 2020.
No, agreed.
Yes.
But that's his biggest money right there, though.
The relationship. I just.
All I'm saying is that I think eventually he's going to, if he's close to 700,
Yeah.
he's close to
I love
700.
that I got you saying that now.
If at 38 years, I got to go by what you think. If at 38 years old, if he's close to 700,
Yeah.
what extends their career is DHing.
Right, but
Pujols went from NL to AL.
right,
Yeah.
but if you see a guy approaching 700 home runs, the franchise will not let him leave.
No.
if he's been on the team,
That's true.
for
But what if he
fif-
just
for
can't play the
15
outfield
years?
anymore? What if he's like
Yeah.
hobbled?
Well,
First
you could
base,
always
maybe?
make a move to first base.
Yeah.
No, it's a good all you
This
kidding
is
me.
going. I don't know where this is going. I was talking about him playing
It's a
first
good
base.
all you kidding. I mean, the 65 home runs.
It's a good all you
If you
kidding
said
me.
60, I'd say okay. 65 might be a little too much. I don't think that's going to happen, but whatever. It's not that outlandish. The Miami thing and the 700 home run thing, I mean, the guy hasn't stayed healthy ever for a full
agreed.
season. Not once until May. Actually, I think he got hurt this year, too. So the guy.
No, he hasn't been hurt this year.
I think he did for a little while, like maybe a quick DL stint. But anyway, even if he didn't, he's got to play this for a whole full year. So he's still got 40 games left. And then he's got to do that for 10 more years or whatever he's got to do. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Do you know how hard it is to hit 700 home runs?
Of course, that's
If
why I
you
use
talk-
it as an "Are you kidding me?"
He's got to be an Iron Man.
A-Rod, so 10 years before his career ended, A-Rod, you probably would have said, without a doubt, 100%, 700 home runs. Ken Griffey Jr. would have said, without a doubt, 700 home runs.
Right.
And these guys didn't make it.
Right.
For
Mike Trout,
multiple
maybe 700 home
Obviously,
runs.
he's
but-
got to stay
for
healthy.
multiple reasons. Steroids, injuries,
Right.
Listen,
steroids
guys,
help
And
bombs.
let's not count out John Carlo as a steroid user either. Let's not say he doesn't. Who knows?
you can't count anybody
I don't
out
know.
as a steroid user.
I know, but he looks the part more than anybody. I mean,
mean,
more than most
Because
people.
he's just
a huge guy. You can't
Then again,
say
Alex Sanchez was caught for steroids, and he was a little
Yeah.
bunting leadoff hitter.
D. Gordon
that
was
didn't
going
hit any
steroid
homers.
use.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. But yeah, I mean that's outlandish.
It is.
It was deep.
That's
It
an all
was
you kidding
deep.
me.
That's
a
an
good
all you kidding me. That's a good all you
That's
kidding
how
me.
you doing. All you kidding me, boys?
Oh, so
all right, you
okay.
come loaded, and you come, ready to impress, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to say that's not going to
I
happen.
agree.
The
I'll give him
700
the
homers
first
and
one,
the Miami
maybe.
thing.
I'll give him
Donnie,
the
you want to
first
give me a
one,
little
maybe.
love on that one?
Donnie, what do you think?
What do you think?
See, even at the season level, I could say that maybe he'll hit 60, but there's only been 8 60 home run seasons ever.
And how many of
in
them
the
were
league.
not steroids?
I mean,
Zero.
several were Ruth.
No, one.
According to Chris,
One.
he's on steroids. So
I don't know. Could be.
Look at those pitches.
You never know.
Sammy Sosa.
we haven't seen. I mean, you can't.
juiced out.
I mean, he's already got 11 homers this month.
No, it's,
He's on a high. Yeah,
no,
he's
it's
obviously
65,
really high.
Yeah. The
And I'm really pissed I let him go because I had him for like 2 years straight in fantasy, and I let him go because of his injury history. But it's going to come back to haunt him again, I think. I need to see him play like 2
Pitcher
or
Luis
3 full
Gonzalez.
seasons
But
before.
the last injury was a hit to the face, though. It's not
Yeah,
like that's a
broke his
crippling
jaw.
injury.
Yeah, but he also had.
Thank you. Don. I
5
didn't even bring that up. Thank you.
But there was some injuries that
Don,
are.
you
that was
think
a
he's
freak injury.
Yeah,
that
that was
wasn't-
freak
yeah.
injuries, but there's also 6 injuries he's had in his career, maybe more.
So
He's had
Don-
a lot of different injuries.
So,
He
Don,
hasn't
you got him
just
hitting
one.
700 home runs?
No, I'd say right now he's on pace to hit about 580, 600. I think that's around where he'll stay. He's already
600
27.
makes sense
Yeah.
if he could stay healthy.
600 still
If he
a
could
lot,
stay healthy,
guys.
yeah.
600
No,
is a
that's
lot.
but,
Remotely
no,
healthy.
but he is on a very good pace. I was just looking it up right
He's
now.
a little young.
Yeah.
27's young. I'll give him that.
27's young.
27? I mean,
27's now you're
I feel like
entering
he's
his
been,
prime.
but he's been around for a while.
He has.
That's why I'm saying he's
But
young.
all his years combined with the injuries, it kind of almost equals
well, that's
not
why,
as many years he actually played in. You know what I mean? It's probably like a couple of years less than what he actually played in.
Well, if I would compare him, if he's a better home run hitter than Pujols, I think, who's got that going on also. So I think
Well,
that he
Pujols
could-
was consistent, didn't get hurt.
No, that's
and-
my point.
yeah.
So
And
he'd
then
have
he
to
just got
slug
old.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, he got older. I mean, Pujols is really old now. I mean, but still, we don't know. Stan could get old at 34.
I know.
And that's
well,
it.
of course
you
we don't know any of this stuff, but I really he's gotten to 251 so fast while not really
What is
having.
the fastest? Or was
I'm not sure if he's he's
it?
one of the
Griffey
fastest.
used to be the fastest of all time.
But even with like not really fulfilling his potential between the injuries and just last year he had a slightly off year. The fact that he's where he's at now, I've just always been a big, humongous fan. And if it wasn't for this Judge guy, we'd be talking about how this guy is superhuman.
No, I know.
because he's
But
in a
you
class
know
by
what?
himself.
I'm going to say he definitely doesn't do it, and he definitely doesn't even come to 600. Want to know why? He's also tremendous. Big guys don't last long. They break down earlier. So I think he's going to break down early, and so is Judge when
Okay.
he's older.
Can I make one last point before we move on? We haven't, but
Yeah.
Donnie brought up a nice little stat. The guys that have reached 250 quicker than Giancarlo Stanton, Ryan Howard, Ralph Kiner, Harmon Killebrew, Albert Pujols, and Juan Gonzalez.
And look what happened to Howard.
And look what happened to almost all of them.
Yeah. I mean, Killebrew.
Killebrew was very obvious. Killebrew was up there, he's like
Killebrew,
570, 580. Kiner retired early. Juan Gonzalez was
lasted
just
a while,
the
steroids.
was the poster boy of
Juan
steroids.
Gonzalez, yeah.
But steroids, yeah. He was good late in his career.
He was
the
he
best
was
late
good
in his
with
career.
steroids.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Exactly.
He
So-
killed the Yankees.
so
he was
to
on
say-
so much juice.
Unless Giancarlo takes steroids later in his career, or if he's doing it now, then I don't know if he's lasting that long. He's going to have to last till he's like
Agreed.
38, 39, being
Agreed.
really good, hitting a lot of homers.
Agreed.
But
He's not making 700.
no doubt. That was a good Are You
It
Kidding Me?
was. It was.
Thank you. guys.
Appreciate it, Bo. Good job. Now we're moving on. We're going to the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones segment again. We've been keeping it going with the Game of Thrones every week
A couple
here.
more episodes left. We
I
got
know.
to, right?
It's
Yeah, we gotta
wait.
keep
It's
it
2
up.
episodes left. 6 and 7,
two
right?
episodes left.
This one was called Eastwatch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yet I think they were at the Eastwatch for maybe 1 second. That episode. No. I don't want to. Oh, spoiler alert! By the way, guys, spoiler alert. They went to Eastwatch at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even anything. I thought, oh, here they come. The White Walkers are coming
Yeah, no.
around the wall to Eastwatch. Didn't happen. It was a lot of dialogue, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
liked
What'd
it
you think?
too. Well, we'll let Mike finish. Well, the second to last episode is always the big episodes. That's
Right.
what they're saving the battle for. So next week, get ready. We're getting that battle.
They're building it up. Yeah.
I thought it was a great episode.
Me
A
too.
lot happened. Look, I'll give one. I don't want to get too much into critiques. I really don't think it deserves that much. But the one thing is, because there's not that many episodes, things are moving a lot faster
Faster.
than we're used to. That's the problem. Game of Thrones was, they didn't draw things out to make, and it was boring. They drew things out and it worked. Like, it's just the pacing's so different than we're used to. Like, all of a sudden, like, boom, boom, boom.
Because
everything's
everybody's
out.
together.
Yeah, and because there's only 7 episodes. But I still loved it. I loved the episode. I thought so much happened.
Me too.
You had Cersei, what I think is a lie to Jaime about the pregnancy. You had Jon showing that he's with
That
the
hit me by
dragons.
surprise.
I know.
The pregnancy thing that hit me by surprise.
I think it's a lie to get Jamie closer to her. I'm just saying. Then you had John with the dragons showing off. Then you had the
showing off.
Yeah, showing off with the
him.
dragons for Daenerys, because Daenerys had that look. She had that look going on.
Yeah, she's feeling him.
They're feeling each other, hard body. Yeah.
She was feeling it big time. John's too obsessed right now with White Walkers, but soon he's gonna realize that he's got this girl.
Yeah.
But what? And then you had that nice little reveal that out of nowhere that you realized that maybe John's not a bastard after all. Did everyone catch that?
I didn't even catch it.
No, yeah.
No, I got.
What do you mean? We all know.
No. When Gilly and Sam were going through all that old paperwork that Sam had to, Gilly was to ask Sam what an annulment was, and he said, well, it's, an annulment's when you discard, when you legally push aside your wife. So he said, oh, well, here there's this record of someone named Prince Rhaegar secretly annulling his wife and then secretly marrying someone else. Which is,
he's not a bastard anyway.
No, he was always a bastard.
Yeah, that's a bastard still?
Yeah, well, okay. No. When we figured out it was Lyanna and Rhaegar's kid, he was still a bastard. But now we're figuring out that that they were married.
Okay, yeah,
and that makes him the true heir to the throne.
Right,
he supersedes Daenerys.
Right. What do you think?
That's huge. I'm sorry.
But why?
No, I mean
that was so fast.
Tremendous.
I didn't even catch it. It was so fast.
Yeah,
and that's
I'd be paying attention.
A humongous thing. Well,
why is it that big? I don't get it.
Because
he's going to be
because then he's the rightful.
Now he's the rightful heir. Well, Daenerys has been saying that I'm the rightful heir to the throne because I'm Targaryen. But now John, if he was a bastard, he has no claim. But now that he's not a bastard and he's Rhaegar's son,
right? He's a true Targaryen,
and he's the true heir to the throne.
Right.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean,
not
listen, they're going to end up together anyway. What does it matter? They're going to be king and queen together.
It's the Game of Thrones. Who's going to be on the throne? We just found out that Jon should be on the throne. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you know what's going to happen? Freaking Littlefinger's going to come out of the ground and slice everybody's throat, and he all of a sudden is on the throne. That little creep.
Yeah,
he's going to do it.
So I want to talk. So what's the deal with that? So
seriously.
So what was the deal with? He obviously tricked Arya.
Yeah, he's a step ahead of Arya.
Right, but what's his end game? What's he trying to do there?
I watched the extra after the episode.
Donnie. Okay.
Apparently,
come on in, Donnie.
He wants to turn Arya and Sansa against each other.
I agree.
And then that's how he gets to Sansa.
Were you
Were
you able to read that scroll? Because I wasn't quick enough to.
No, not at all. I know he was supposed to.
It was signed.
The scroll was.
He set her up. Yeah.
No, the scroll was what Sansa wrote in season 2 after Ned died, or maybe it might have been the end of season 1. After Ned died, Cersei forced Sansa to write to Robb Stark saying that Dad was a traitor. He deserved to die. Come and bend the knee to Joffrey.
Was that what it said? I tried pausing it and reading it, but
that's exactly what I did. That's what the note said.
Yeah.
So I agree with Donnie. I think that Littlefinger's going to try to set up Arya and Sansa against each other and get Sansa closer to him as opposed to Arya. And he's going to make. I think he's going to make Arya look bad. Then eventually Arya's going to kill him. But
but I don't understand how. Like Arya's supposed to be this trained little sneaky girl that can do things easily. Be unavoidable that anybody can't see her. Nobody should see her. But meanwhile, she's doing everything so nonchalant, and then you see Littlefinger in the corner creeping up on her. It's like, come on, Arya. You don't know that Littlefinger is obviously one of the people in the world like Varys who has little whispers everywhere and is a very sneaky person. Don't take him for granted. She's smarter than that. I thought that was a little stupid.
It was, but she doesn't know. She doesn't know that much about Littlefinger. She only interacted with one of the. Well, no, I take that back. She should know.
She should know.
Littlefinger's that good.
Don,
I have to ask: will they ever find out that he's the one that set up Ned Stark to be killed? And if they don't, will they find that out? And will that be his last straw?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's gone.
That's gonna be what does him in. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna be.
Gone under the radar.
He set everything up.
He's gonna be successful. He's gonna be successful.
But that was big, though.
In getting Arya and Sansa against each other. That's true.
That's gonna come back to haunt him.
But he's gonna end up getting. That's gonna be his downfall. He's gonna get caught with that.
So I just want. Mike told us, what'd you think of the episode?
I didn't love the episode. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was. I would rank it as the worst one so far. Of
the season.
And I think Phil, it was one of the things you were saying that's really bothering me is everything seems rushed. I don't know. Everything seems rushed so much, and that just the way the episode ended. I mean, not ended. It started. with just Jamie and Bron just coming out of the water, like with nobody around. Like what?
Yeah, like
give
he
you
wasn't
that.
sinking to the bottom in his armor and shit. All of a sudden, Bron's carrying him up to the water
On the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
On the other side of
How
the
they
lake.
get
No
there?
one's
How
around.
they get there?
Dude, can you explain to me
I gotta
why
agree with Mike there.
after they
I
get
agree.
blasted into the water, why they're not making sure that like they don't come up, or if they do come up, they don't have guys right there. They have a million guys
know.
there.
He should have been a prisoner. Yeah.
And Jorah is already here. Quickly.
Come on,
here.
but that was great,
I know,
man.
but
I love
you're right.
Jorah.
He's right. His point is that things are getting a little rushed. But listen, I guess
We want it to
don't
be
really
rushed
need
now,
to
yeah.
see so much of this stuff anymore. You know,
I think it's okay that they're rushing it because I don't want to see them traveling for 9
they probably
episodes.
could have made it a 10-episode season.
I just felt like it was rushed, but still nothing that amazing happened. Obviously, there was some big, things to come out of it, which I missed because they were so hidden.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't think it was I want to see action, man. I want to see the end.
Yeah, but it's not
But it
all
can't be
about
all-
that.
Thank you.
Have you ever watched Mad
Thank
Men?
you, Chris. Thank
There's
you.
not one single thing of
Thank
action
you.
in that show, and that show's
It
great.
can't all be action.
Can't all be action.
I don't know.
What do you want to see? Cersei get slit? Like, what do you want? What do you want to see? Her get murked?
There's just
Vaporized? What do you want?
There's too much. There's too much posturing. I want to see things.
But that's what the
move.
show's about. It's
I want to see
politics.
things move now.
Yeah, there's a lot of politics, a lot of people in the show.
Yeah,
There's a
you
lot
just
of
want to see
characters in
dragons
the show.
burn everybody.
I guess the last episode just kind of it was a downer for me after the last episode,
It's understandable.
which was an amazing episode.
But I think the next 2 episodes, you're right, are going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned. But next,
stay tuned.
stay tuned.
tuned,
Was that-
baby.
we're gonna
That's
put it up for
stay
you.
tuned.
You watch
Stay
the whole
tuned.
episode
Is
with
that
us
an-
on
it's a
Sunday
plug?
You
night.
know you're coming here
We
Monday
should-
nights to hear us
That's
talk
a good
about
idea.
it.
We should have a Game of Thrones for the season finale. Like we do commentary on Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah,
the
but I
whole
wanna
episode,
watch
season
the
finale.
episode.
I know, yeah, you want to
I don't know if you're allowed to stream that either.
That's a good
Maybe
Pretty
the
much
next
illegal,
day.
yeah.
Who knows?
Stream Game of Thrones.
Now, back to sports. NFL. A lot of things happened this week. A lot of things. And it's funny because I was actually somewhere with a bunch of people who do fantasy work. You know, they're always constantly on the news. They write articles. And the news came out that Zeke got the 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later.
Right. The news came out right after that Sammy Watkins got traded to the Rams. And then Jordan Matthews got traded to the Bills from Philadelphia. So all this stuff happened within a short period of time. People are scrambling, going crazy. We got to change all our articles. We got to do all this stuff. So I think that was pretty crazy. I don't know why the Bills did that. I mean, there's other things that happened as well, but I'll kick it to you, Phil. What do you think, like, about those trades in particular? We'll talk about Zeke later, but those trades and anything else that happened in the NFL this week.
I don't think it was. I think the Bills. I think it clears the shore that the Bills are rebuilding. And
Right.
I really don't think it was a terrible trade for the Bills. I actually kind of like it for the Bills. They got a second and a third rounder, I believe. I want to say second and a third rounder from. That's what
They
they
got a
netted.
second.
And a third rounder.
Well, the
from
third
another
rounder they got
team.
from the other
But
trade.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm looking at both trades
Right.
together. They got a second and a third rounder. They pretty much swapped cornerbacks. They got Gaines and gave up
They
Darby.
downgraded there a
Yeah,
little bit.
but not that bad.
Mhm.
And the receiver, they downgrade. Jordan Matthews was pretty good. Watkins is better, but Watkins can't stay on the field.
Watkins is much.
I'm not saying
better.
he's not better. Watkins can't stay on the field. So you got a receiver that's still good, and you got the draft picks. I don't think it was a terrible trade for the Bills. With Tyrod Taylor, he's out. They don't want him to succeed, but
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, go ahead, Bill.
That's
So we
definitely. I mean, Watkins. He's been in the league 3 years.
This will be his 4th year, I think.
This will be his 4th year. He came
Fourth
out of
year.
the same draft as
Beckham and Evans.
as
and he was the
Evans and Beckham.
first one
and he
taken.
was the first
Yeah,
one
he was
picked,
4th
right?
overall pick.
So although I know you love him,
I love him.
but
Absolutely love
he
him.
has not lived up to that, right? And that's a
Right.
huge.
That's fine, though.
No, but I think there's something internally here too. I mean, the fact that he's not able to stay on the field, maybe there's some more problems in there they're pointing out. But
Right.
it's just an interesting move at this time for them to do that. I don't think they were they that bad that they're going to blow up the team. I feel like there's
Phil
more
makes
there.
a good point. He says that they're trying to rebuild because they're going to wait probably till Brady's out of the league, and then they can win the division. Just like the Jets are rebuilding. All these teams know they have no shot for the Super Bowl.
They have no shot for the division.
Right. Oh, but let's say the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I think the Bills, honestly, could have made the playoffs. I think they were good enough to make the playoffs. I do.
Maybe.
I think they could.
Maybe.
If Watkins stays healthy and McCoy stays healthy and Taylor stays healthy, that team can make the playoffs.
Those
Well,
are
you
big
say
ifs
they're
front.
posturing for when Brady retires. First of all, who knows? He wants to play at least 45. He said, but I
It's not
mean,
happening.
but Watkins is his 4th year in the league. I mean, he's a young player.
Right.
So that's not really. I understand the draft.
That's
pick.
why I'm pissed at the Bills for trading my boy. Because no, seriously, because okay, I get you want to build for the future, you worry about Tom Brady, but listen, your team's set up. You have a pretty solid team.
No.
You're a couple of pieces away from being a really good team. I think they could. They're a couple of pieces from a top 10. They could have been a top 10 offense this year, I think. And I think they could have been a top 10 D, maybe a couple pieces away from that. I think they could have been a very solid team and could have made noise in the playoffs. I think Taylor's very, very good. I think he's underrated. I think Watkins...
I actually agree with you on
Don't
Taylor.
trade an elite-level wide receiver like that.
But why is he an
with the
elite level
talent
wide?
Because he's 6'1", 215 pounds. So he's a decent-sized wide receiver who flies. He's just as fast as anybody else in the league almost, besides the fastest guys, which are like Ted Ginn and Brandon Cooks. He's a step below them. So he flies. And he could be an all-around receiver. He could be your go-to guy like a DeAndre Hopkins. He could be that guy. But he's been hurt. Okay, maybe they see something. Maybe there's something underneath that we don't know. Maybe they see an injury, whatever, that's
think
developing.
there is.
There's a risk. Obviously, there's a risk. But you didn't get enough in return. They should have got a first-round pick. They shouldn't have got a second-round pick.
Nobody would
And
give you a first round for Sammy Watkins.
why? Watkins was a first
Well,
round
because
pick. He's a fourth overall
first
pick.
of all,
He's still young.
First of all, you have to consider that. Remember what Randy Moss got in a trade years
Fourth
ago?
round.
He was a 4th round pick, right? And I mean, it
But
wasn't.
nobody gives up first round picks. That's
Yeah,
all
you
I'm
don't
saying. I'm
see
not
it.
saying Watkins
So,
is bad.
what they
I'm just
got-
saying no one gives up first round picks.
What they
Right.
got wasn't bad, but if
They also
they
got
really,
gains.
I mean, if they really thought so much about him, they still wouldn't have done the trade, even though they were getting a lot in return. So I
They
think
don't
there's
like
more to
Watkins.
it.
That's
There's
they don't
something-
believe in Watkins.
They don't
anymore.
like anybody. They don't like Taylor. They don't
I
like
know.
Watkins. They might have a whole new team a couple years from
Yeah.
now, but they're retarded.
That's what it is.
Honestly, I don't like what they're doing. I think they're doing the wrong things because I think they were a year or two away from being a very good contender, and I think they messed it up because they hired a new coach and everything too. That also hurt, but. Because the new coach might want to implement a whole new system, a whole new direction. But this is very funny that we talked about Giancarlo before because Giancarlo is very similar to Sammy Watkins. Both elite talents, both got injured early in their careers. Now look what Giancarlo's doing. Maybe we jumped the gun at dropping Giancarlo too early. Now Giancarlo's ripping. So
But
what if
what-
Watkins
wait.
plays a 16-game season, puts up 1,400 yards, gets 95 catches?
That's a
scores
lot
12
of what
touchdowns?
ifs,
First
Chris.
of all,
What if he
That's
has one of the
talent
greatest
he
seasons
has.
of all time?
That's the talent he has.
What are you talking about? I don't understand the comparison between him and Giancarlo.
They both injured early on in their career. So is Giancarlo. They're both elite level talents.
He's achieved way more than Sammy Watkins has. Sammy Watkins,
But he's played a lot more years than Sammy Watkins.
which is why the comparison doesn't make any sense
No,
to
but
begin with.
if you compare it to Watkins early in his career to Giancarlo early in his career, Giancarlo had the promise, but he didn't play his first 3 years. He got hurt here and there. He showed promise, just like Watkins. But then, now it's years later, and he still was hurt until this year. Giancarlo has been hurt every year. And that was in, 6 years Giancarlo already played? This
Big
is his 7th year?
difference of sports.
I
though.
know. That's why.
And Watkins
It's
has
only
foot
been
trouble.
Watkins played his first year and had a very good year. If you look
He
at it,
did
for
have a
rookie.
very good year.
Then he got hurt 2 years in a row. But now it's the 4th year. Why can't he stay healthy? I would still take the chance on him. He's better than a Jordan Matthews, who's already hurt, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Who's
I don't know
already
what happened
hurt.
with that.
Right, but
Jordan Matthews is a number 2. He'll never
I
be
know.
a Sammy
I
Watkins.
didn't say he was a Sammy Watkins. It's not like you got trash back in the trade. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's
I
all I'm
understand
saying.
that.
Especially for a trade in the NFL where you don't see high
and you
draft
got
picks thrown around.
Picks are so worth it in
Valuable,
the
I
NFL.
know.
So a second and a third round pick isn't a bad haul.
No, I know.
They just don't believe in Watkins. And your comparison's tough. He doesn't stay healthy. It's tough. Like, are we looking at Sammy Watkins
Yeah, we're looking at
stats
Sammy
right
Watkins.
now?
But
I'm
16
sorry. We're
games
looking at
especially, his rookie
okay.
year.
Dude, he has 1 year over 1,000 yards, and it was
And he played
1,047
and
yards.
he missed 3 games. So
Yeah,
he actually only got hurt.
But he has to be on the field.
Right, but he played 16 games his first year, 13 games
And
his second year,
908
then 8 games later. So really,
Okay.
he only missed a
Hold on.
lot of time
Yeah,
last
but
year.
Chris, look
You
at his
said his
numbers
first year
last
was
year.
great. His first year was
For a
not that
rookie.
good.
For a rookie, I
Well,
said.
when you had Evans and Beckham coming out the same, they completely
Oh, it wasn't
changed.
bad, though.
Beckham and Evans completely changed what rookie wide receiver years look
Agreed,
like.
yeah.
You look
Yeah,
at you can't
Beckham
say
had a
that's
great rookie
you
year,
can't
yeah.
say that's good for a rookie anymore. 65 catches,
Well,
98
you
yards.
can because
No, you can't.
only Beckham and Michael Thomas have put up these
and
big monstrous years.
Evans.
Yeah,
now.
but it's all in recent years.
I mean,
so
but
it
then
has
Evans had a
changed.
down year the
But
next
it's
year, so it doesn't
changing.
matter.
It's changing
But
how
dude-
you look at rookie
But
wide receivers.
Chris, look
Right.
at his last year. What was going on? Because he did play 8 games. He only 430 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, he was hurt at the beginning of the year, so he wasn't playing well.
he was
When
hurt
he
for the
came
whole
back,
year.
I mean,
But
you can
that's
make
the other thing.
excuses for this guy all
That's
day,
the-
but he has not
That's
had
the
a
other thing.
great
Look at his
start to
game log
career.
from last year, and Donnie, look at his game log from last year. The end of the season when he came back at the end, he was going off. going
also
off.
the end of
so
the
that's perfect.
Who
that
was he
means he's-
playing?
That means he was healthy. That means he might be healthy now. I think they gave up. I am being a little bitter because I don't like that he's with Golf instead of Taylor now. So I am bitter about it, and I'm mad right now. But like, I just want.
tell.
Let's
get riled up for Zeke coming up
because I really wanted Watkins to be a great player, and I don't know if he's
Why are
gonna
you
have
so
the opportunity.
personally invested in Sammy Watkins?
Because Julio
You
Jones
know,
and Sammy
Chris.
Watkins are two of my two favorite players by
What?
far. By far, I just
you
are.
are personally insulted right
I
now.
love Transformers.
He-
I love
That's it. I
Transformers.
love Transformers.
He's a Transformer. Julio's a Transformer.
This guy
I
is
love
not a
Wait,
Transformers.
hold on. Is Ezekiel Elliott a Transformer?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Why is he his transformer?
Because he flies for a guy his
trying to
size.
segue
Nobody
there.
runs like
I was
him.
trying
his
to
size.
segue
He
there. I
runs
got
faster
nothing.
than Julio on a straight line.
Well, he can't do anything close to him. At least that's what he's proven. So
Let's watch
I
this
wouldn't
year.
say
I'll
he's
make a
transformer.
prediction right now. 85 catches. No, on the Rams.
Oh,
Jesus.
say that for
80
what?
catches.
Next week. Are you kidding me? Give
All
us
right.
Sammy Watkins.
I'll give you
thing,
Sammy
all
Watkins
right?
stats.
All right.
No doubt. All right, so moving on. We got the question tonight. I hope we got some comments on Facebook. I can't see it right now, but do we have anything? The question is, was Ezekiel Elliott's suspension too harsh? Was it too much? I'll bring it back again. It was supposed to be a 1 to 2 game suspension. It ended up being a 6-game suspension. Obviously, he's going to appeal this stuff and everything, but is it too harsh? Is it a lot? I'll bring it to you guys first, and then we could go to some comments maybe if they're up there.
So I mean, so he got suspended 6 games, and this is at the end of a 13-month investigation.
Oh, my God.
Which is crazy. First of all,
Who did the NFL have to do these
yeah,
investigations?
I don't know who's doing these investigations and why it takes so long, and it comes out right in time for preseason. I do think that the Cowboys are getting screwed a little bit here. I mean, I think the suspension is a little bit too long. This is all stemming from. I mean, let's explain what happened. They say it's a culmination of poor behavior on his part, stemming from. What was it? It was a call by his ex-girlfriend to the police.
Yeah, I believe so.
Over a year ago.
Then the bar
a
thing.
domestic. Then there was the bar thing. So there's a couple different incidents, but I mean, she did not press charges.
Right.
The bar thing, that's a lot of fuzzy information. Goodall is really looks like he's trying to prove points with his suspension.
Right.
That's
With
the
domestic
problem.
violence
Every
especially.
suspension. That's the problem with. I feel like in the NFL, half the suspensions they mess up, and then the other half they try to make up for messing up the previous
OD.
one, and then they mess it up even more. It's like, oh well, we let this guy slide, so now Elliott we're going to give 6 games, and then it's like every suspension is a problem in
They
the
go
NFL.
OD with it, and that's the question I want to ask you. What about this? Do you think it's maybe has to do with because it's Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys? Does that have
Look,
anything to do with it?
But
I was surprised he's going after Jerry Jones.
right, you're talking
He's his
about the
biggest friend.
franchise that brings the most money into the NFL.
I know.
So why would
Trying to prove a
he?
point.
Some people
Trying to
say-
prove a point.
Yeah,
Trying to
maybe
prove a
some
point.
people will say that, because it's Dallas, he'll get less time. But then some people say he'll get more because he might try to prove a point. So it's like...
Here's the
I don't
problem,
know.
right? When Goodell took over the NFL, there was a number of problems
it's
with
nuts.
behavior. It was crazy.
Nuts.
He came in at a very bad time. People were very unhappy with how athletes were behaving.
Maybe
in the
it's
NFL.
because they were going insane because they were bashing their heads in.
Right, but that's
another
a different
thing, sorry.
issue. But anyway, so he came in, so he's trying to prove a point. But the problem is when you're going to suspend players based on conduct and not leave it up to the law, then it becomes kind of where do you come up with these arbitrary numbers? How do you decide on 6 games? I would love to hear where this number exactly came from. It seems like every case is unrelated, and I mean nobody expected 6 games, so you can't gauge how hard a certain player is going to get it because it's just too arbitrary. You don't know where he's coming up with it, and they need to come up with some kind of formula so that teams. I mean, it's really not fair to the Cowboys that going into the season, their star player might be gone for 6 games.
Like baseball with steroids, they have a set system in place for first
Right,
offense,
but then what do you
second
do?
offense,
What do
third
you do
offense.
for
Yeah.
domestic?
But
It's such like a. It's not as
It's not clear at all.
But we're talking about also we're talking.
It's very opaque.
Look, nice,
Nice word.
You like
nice,
that?
nice, nice.
What was the word you used?
Bombastic.
Bombastic.
I got to use a big word before the end of the show.
You got like 5 minutes. You got like 5 minutes.
Transparent.
Well, hold on.
Inappropriate.
But you, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I know it gets fuzzy with these domestic violence claims. Like it gets fuzzy that they just disappear.
Right.
But when you
Fugazi,
take
fugazi.
when you take into these, the law clears him but the NFL suspends him. It's very like Josh Brown last year admitted to abusing his wife multiple times and got like suspended for like one game
Because he's a kicker.
because they just don't care.
He's a kicker.
And now Elliot, I honestly think it's way too harsh. I think the whole system is terrible because now when Elliot appeals
It is.
he's appealing it to Goodell. He's not appealing it to someone else. So Goodell made the suspension, and then Goodell rules if my suspension was
Roger
good
Goodell?
enough.
He's like
Kick him out of the league.
he's like a king.
That's
him
exactly
out of
what
the
it is.
He's the
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Roger
But
Goodell.
the question is, I mean, look, you can get fired from your job. I mean, it all goes back to this. You can get fired for your job.
A lot of
You know, you can get suspended, whatever it is.
Right.
You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be that you got in trouble
Yes.
with the law. It could be for
Yes.
different reasons, right? There's a code. There's a code that goes with any job,
Yep.
right? And he's going
And you
along with
sign
that.
that in your
He's
contracts.
going along with that idea. But there's still not enough. Nobody knows
There's
what's
no
going on,
consistency.
where the numbers come
That's
from.
it. Exactly. There's no consistency. It's all arbitrary. But I do want to ask Chris, what does this do to Elliott's? Can we switch it a little
I
bit
like
to fantasy?
That. I like
All
how
right.
you did that because I
Can
love
we-
fantasy.
Can we talk?
Nice segue.
What does this
Fantasy.
do to Zeke Elliott's fantasy outlook?
So he should have been without any suspension, like the 3rd overall pick, maybe 5th, the latest, right? You know, he's a first rounder, no doubt. But now with 1 to 2 games, he's still a first rounder.
Yep. I
1 to
took
2 games, still
Bell
first
with a
rounder.
3-game
Maybe a
suspension
late
last
first
year.
rounder.
Yeah.
Okay, but 6 games. You're talking about half the fantasy season because the fantasy season is 13 games. You know, that's bad. You don't want to take him in the first. I wouldn't take him in the second. I might take him at the end of the third, but I heard he's going set. You guys were telling me
I heard
second and third
third.
rounds. I think that's too early. I think I'd rather have other guys.
I agree.
Other more secure guys that are going to play the whole year.
Here's what I
You
think
know?
people are rolling the dice on. And I was talking about this a little bit, and Mike was the beneficiary of this a couple of years ago with Brady. Brady was suspended for the 4 games, and he was appealing it to the court after Goodell. He dropped the big time because he was missing 4 games. I think Mike got in like the 10th round, 9th round, or something. What is it? Then, before the season started, it got overturned.
Right.
So Brady played the whole year. So you had Brady playing the whole year at like a 10th round value.
Good
so your
point.
team was stacked.
That's a good point.
Mike won the league in our league that year. But I think people are hoping that because the NFL drops the ball in a lot of the suspension. So I think they're hoping that they're going to drop the ball again. You get Ellie in the 2nd and 3rd round. He plays the whole year.
Right.
Bang.
So he's already appealed.
But it's dangerous.
He's appealing this week, I think.
He's
Or did he appeal
appealing it
today?
to Goodell. Then Goodell's going to rule it. The way Brady did it, Brady sued them. He appealed it in an actual federal court. So I
Right.
think that's what's eventually going to happen. But
And I mean, you can take advantage. I think you can take advantage. I'm not even high on Elliott, but it's an opportunity to take advantage. I think if if he's in the 3rd round,
What
like
do you mean
you
you're
said,
not high on Elliott?
I'm not.
Like where would you draft him if he was
Obviously, he would be a first rounder
Okay.
if not for
So
this.
that's what I'm
But I
saying.
said I would pick all the wide receivers before him.
okay,
The-
in
the
2nd,
big-
3rd round.
No, I'm saying before this,
he's your 6th
I was
pick
going to
if
take
you-
him 6th.
Okay.
But
okay, gotcha.
I think you could take advantage of the situation, much like you were talking about, because there is going to be more to this story. This is not a
Right.
6-game suspension.
And Phil's right. If he does appeal and he ends up not
could end up
doing
playing the
anything
whole
this year,
season.
right? Then you get him. I guess that's why people are taking him in the 2nd, 3rd rounds right now because of that possibility.
it is dangerous.
But if he was definitely getting those 6 games, I think he's got to fall to like the late 3rd, 4th. At
He
the
is
very
dangerous. It is
dangerous.
dangerous.
Deepest. Don, you think anything on this on the Zeke? No. Okay. Good,
Yeah.
good talk. Good talk. It's nice knowing.
Thanks
you.
for that input.
Yeah, I think that he's going to drop to, I don't know, probably still the 2nd round, 3rd round. I remember when Bell a couple of years ago was suspended for the first.
Last year. It was last year. He was suspended for the first
Wasn't
3
he
games.
suspended
Yes.
twice? though?
No,
Yeah.
he also
Oh,
had,
he's been
he also
suspended
had a
multiple
year where
times.
he
You're
had
right.
4 games. He was going to miss the first 4.
Right,
you're right,
And he
you're
got
right.
drafted
And he was
end of
still
first
going in
round.
3rd
Yeah.
round,
And-
but at latest.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
know
Yeah.
what? Look,
So I think something like that.
You think it was too harsh, the suspension, though?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Not a real precedent.
I
yeah.
think we're all unanimous
On that, yeah. I think it was a little too harsh.
There's not
Ray
enough clarity.
Ray Rice got 6 games for his video on what he did. Well, he's never been signed by another team, but the suspension I believe was 6 games.
I think-
Elliott got 6 games for something that wasn't even. you
Yeah,
know.
I think it should be 3 to 4.
It all
games.
comes back to you need consistency, right,
Yeah.
with this stuff,
I think
and
that's
there's
the
just
last
not
thing.
enough consistency. If he wanted to come out hard, Goodell, and that's how he's going to do it from the get go, and you can see the consistency there. Then I don't think I would have a problem with the 6-game suspension. But you're seeing case by case, it just kind of fluctuate. There's my big word. Fluctuate
There you go.
like crazy.
Mike, fluctuate.
Got it in at the
Fluctuate.
bell.
That's your big word.
Yeah,
Well done. Fluctuate.
Well
It's
done.
not
All right.
bombastic.
Well, we all agree.
Opaque.
It was harsh.
Opaque was a good one. But anyway.
Harsh and opaque, very similar. No, they're not at all. But thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. A lot of good stuff today. Thank you guys for coming. Tomorrow night on Bridgeside Live, we got Lizzie and the Makers playing here tomorrow night. Yeah. And, tune in every day. We post, our daily 1-minute clips from our episode. And then every Monday night at 9, we got Bridgeside Sports Live. Thanks for coming. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, boy.
Have a good night. Yep.
Out.